Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Zodiac Bandit, and today we're going to be ranking every single player character in Critical Role, and that means the ones canon to Exandria. So no really obscure one-shots like a Christmas one-shot or anything like that. So the groups we have in this listing are grammar, Vox Machina, Mighty Nine, Bell's Hells, the Crown Keepers, the Ring of Brass, and the Darrington Brigade, because I like to rank more characters than I should, leaving us with a total of 42 characters. So, without further ado, let's get into it, starting with number 42. Before we get into this list proper, I do want to point out this is my opinion, is not objective in any way, shape, or form. So please, if you disagree, let me know down below. Simple as that. And spoilers ahead for certain characters. Obviously, I have to talk about certain spoilers. So spoilers. That was your last warning. Spoilers. And number 42 is Tiberius Darwin. I feel like everyone knows this. I dislike this character a lot. I made a whole video about why this character and the player are terrible, and you should even skip the first, 27 episodes of the first campaign, because of this character. He's a part of Vox Machina, and it is a mostly swept under the rug part of the early portion of Critical Role, and it's mostly because of this player and this character. And there are some people who can divide the two of them. I cannot, because a lot of his humor was the same as the player's humor, and a lot of his actions are seemingly the same as the player's actions. He definitely implemented a lot of himself into the character, and yeah, not a fun character for me. I don't like Tiberius Stormwind, just like how I don't like Aurum Akba. So the less he's here, the better. If you want to hear more about what he did and stuff like that, I have a video dedicated to all of that. As to more of my disdain for this character will come out in that video. So for now, I'm going to leave it at that. So number 41 is Fira Rai, and overall, I find this character to be okay. She's not bad, and the player I actually really enjoy. Anjali, I think she's really funny, but when she plays, there's something I dislike about the character, and that is she interjects herself in every conversation possible. She doesn't let anybody else sort of shine. She did this in the original EXU, and then she did it for like 4 hours straight in the second episode of EXU Kaimal, and it drove me batshit. There's something about the way she acted and the way she always interjected herself into the conversations. She was in a different room and interjected herself into a conversation one time. It was crazy and really annoying, and that is my biggest pet peeve for characters or players, that this happens. And I don't think this is something that like Anjali does in like her own, because I don't think she did it until Kaimal. Like, she didn't do that too often in not EXU Calamity, in just regular EXU. And when she did, it was to sort of add information, but this time it was to interrupt and be the center of attention by what I could feel based off what she was doing. So didn't necessarily like that. And what little information we do know about the character, I'm not a big fan of. Like, we don't know what happened to her sister until Kaimal. I think I keep saying Calamity, but I'm stupid. We don't know too much about her character other than she had a sister that she thought died, and now we know she's not dead. That's about it. And I guess she got left behind in Session 0, but when she wasn't in the end of EXU, I didn't really feel bad about that or anything. So to leave it at this, I think the character's okay, but has a massive issue of interjecting herself into every conversation she can, and that's really annoying. And at number 40, we have Morrigan Furris. I think that's how you say her last name. She's a character from EXU Kaimal, and we know nothing about her. The only thing that we know concretely about her backstory, which is not actually concretely, is that she might have a connection with Mori, Fern's grandmother or adoptive grandmother. That's about it. We know very little about her in truth. Like, we might know a little minor things about her connection to Kaimal, but that's it. We know that she's supposed to be a ditz, a bartender, hot, and a thief. That's all we're supposed to know. Or that's all that I can recall about the character, which to me sounds like that's all we're supposed to know. So, didn't, intrigue me at all as a character, but I'm sure someone out there really enjoys this character. I personally don't, but we know very little about her, and that's going to be a trend for the next handful of entries on this list. We don't know much about them. And at number 39, we have Farrowwind Breeze, Laura's character from the Darrington Brigade. Much like Morrigan, we know nothing about this character, or at least very little, to the point where I don't recall much about them. So, yeah, she's a monk. I believe she's the Way of the Elements monk, and that's about all we know, or at least that's about all I know. And yeah, not overly into this character, as it is my least favorite class. And yeah, but at least they're part of a very funny group, and there's been 0 bad showings of the Darrington Brigade, which is why she is above Morrigan. So yeah, least favorite class, and a character we don't know too much about. Design's really cool. Yeah, as you can see, these handful of entries are going to be general opinions on these characters, which makes it easy. And at number 38, we have Damien Vedoma, who is a half-elf rune knight fighter, which is cool, and their family is a mob family. I think that's really cool. I think her family being a mob family adds another layer to Wildmount that we didn't get to see in Campaign 2, which this game, I believe, is 16 years before Campaign 2, if I'm not mistaken. Timeline-wise, it might not be 16. But it's 10 years after the events of Vox Machina when this game takes place, the Darrington Brigade, and this implies that at some point there were mobs, or there was a mob family in Wildmount. And to me, that's fairly interesting. But again, that's about all we know. And she was a part of a couple of funny moments, particularly the one with Macaroni Samsonite, where she gets banished, and then Ashley walks away, and everyone is sad because she's leaving, just like when she leaves for Blind Spot. Fuck Blind Spot. And at number 37, we have Buddy, who is a big, dumb ogre who needs glasses and is friends with Macaroni Samsonite. I am telling you, that is literally all we learn about this character. Oh, they also smell. That is it. That is all we know about this character. And only reason that he is higher than the other two is because for a while he's half blind, which I find absolutely hilarious. He's also part of a few funny moments in the same episode, the Darrington Brigade episode. And I really enjoy the way, like, Travis introduces him or helps introduce him, if I'm thinking about it right. The two of them having their back-to-back, the way that they introduced each other was good. So I enjoy that. I thought it was fun. I think it actually goes Buddy introduces Macaroni, and everyone's shocked by the Macaroni voice. But Liam also pulling off the Buddy voice is fun to me. So overall, a fun character. So number 37. And at number 36, we have Macaroni Samsonite. I love this character. I think he's hilarious. But we know nothing about him. Literally the only thing, just like Buddy, the only thing we know is that he is a halfling, who is a feral halfling, it seems, who wears bone armor and is friends with Buddy. That is all we know. It is crazy how little we know about these characters. They were obviously just there to serve or fill a gap or a character that was needed, and they didn't make much personality or background for any of these Darrington Brigade characters, with the exception of with the exception of 2. This is the case. But this character is hilarious, the voice is hilarious, the introduction is hilarious, and it catches everybody off guard, including Matt. So that's always a win for me. And yeah, just a funny character, had a ton of funny moments, so that's going to be a win in my book, pushing him further up on the Darrington Brigade portion of this list. And at number 35, we have Hazel Copperpot, not Cobblepot, like I've been saying the last 2 times during these recordings. And this character's fun. We have a backstory to her, where she is from Hupperduke, and she spent tons of time reading Terry and Darrington's books, and grew obsessed with the idea and wanted to tell the stories, or tell more stories, in a different format than just books. And thus, with her machine, she's able to record conversations and things that happen mid-combat, and she's able to put them in her machine, and it spews out sound, and I think that's hilarious. And the aesthetic that she chose, I think she's supposed to be like a 1920s like radiocaster. I think that's really funny. It's 1920s or 1930s radiocaster. Really fun to me. I thought it was really enjoyable. And you know, Marisha's RP, like every character she ever has, is perfect. So this character is a home run and is the second best character from the Darrington Brigade that was introduced during that one shot. And at number 34 is the Owlbear. Do I need to explain why Batman is the best member of the Darrington Brigade? No, I don't. This character is just fun. We know very little about them other than they are a people of Wildmount, so they should be getting the money that the people of Wildmount will be getting from the Darrington Brigade, right? But in all honesty, this character is fucking hilarious. The most laughter came from this character doing Batman shit in D&D. I think that's hilarious. I think it was funny. It was perfect. And the glasses that he puts on, or the mask that he puts on, is amazing. I loved Talzin's RP for this character. I loved the personality he put behind this character. It's so good and so simple, and it makes it so amazing and hilarious to watch. I routinely look up Owlbear. I think it's a video on YouTube called the Darrington Brigade One Shot, but it's just the Owlbear, and it's like 15 minutes of side-splitting laughter. I think it's hilarious. It's funny. I enjoy the character way too much. So he is number 34 on this list, but number 1 out of the new Darrington Brigade characters. So, moving on to the next character. And at number 33 is Bertrand Bell, a character who was literally created to die in 2 separate occasions and finally succeeded in Campaign 3. He was first introduced during a one-shot, or technically became a 2-shot, for the Rescue Grog, or Search for Grog, a 1-shot, and he was to be Travis's character, as Grog was in a red gem. So he created this nice character who was both pretending to be, he was effectively a Gilderoy Lockhart-esque character who was pretending to be brave, but was actually a massive coward and wanted to look really cool, but ended up getting roped into going into Pandemonium to get Grog, and was basically designed to die there so that once they got Grog again, he could be Grog. But instead he survived, and years later got himself onto a redemption arc and began to try to build something new, and his legacy wouldn't die being a, well, waste of time, and ended up bringing the Bells Hells together and is the namesake of the team as he was killed off in Campaign 3, but he lives on in our hearts and in the name. So, yeah, fun character overall, but because he was designed to die not once but twice, and you could tell that this was the case, the character is this low on this list, because he is a tool, not a character. Number 32 is Lorin from EXU Calamity. I enjoy this character, but for different reasons that I think other people do. I think this character was created to literally be the catalyst of evil. She literally was going out of her way to go against what the majority of the city was thinking. Now, some people have claimed that later on, after the episode was confirmed, or after the episode was done, it was confirmed that she was going to ask everybody. It does not feel like that as the game is going on. And it totally feels like Loquacious is totally going to help do whatever Lorin wants to do. So, the characters are played pretty perfectly, in my opinion, and I really enjoy them. And I just, but, she feels evil and is designed to be such. And because of this, I have a problem, like, looking at her as a good character to enjoy. It is a character who I'm supposed to not like because she's trying to do something that she wants to do, not what other people want. She literally didn't ask Loquacious if he wanted to do this. It's literally in the character. So I don't know. I personally enjoy the characters, like the reason the character's there, love it. The character herself, because of the reason she's there, I can't like it. So yeah, down here is where she belongs in my opinion. But I love the concept and the idea. But as a character, I can't get behind it personally because she's trying to do bad, in my opinion. So, yeah, she's down here at number 32. At number 31, we have Nidus, and it's a rags to riches story that'll always tug at the heartstrings. A literally pirate with nothing becomes the lead treasurer of Avalere. That's really cool. And also becomes the dragon and sorcerer of Avalere. Gotta love that kind of story. Very funny. Lou played an excellent character, and I really enjoyed him. We don't know much about the backstory other than they have a brother and they were a pirate. I would have liked to have learned a bit more about how they became the person they became, how they grew into it. Technically, you could look at it and be like, this is what they wanted, so they went and got it. But Nidus, to me, should have had a bit more expanded upon. Like, Xerxes, Loquacious, Sarat, Pasha, and Lorin all had a lot more expansion on them than Nidus did, which is unfortunate because I feel like Nidus deserved more, but was really fun and was part of a flippin' hilarious moment when he summoned the dragon. I think it was the second time, and the dragon was going to go off on his whole spiel, and Nidus was like, no, shut the hell up. I'm the the Dragon of Avalier. Shut up, I'm gonna ride you now, we gotta go. I thought that was hilarious, perfectly in character, loved it, and the character's just overall really fun. At number 30, we have Dariax, who is, to me, kind of a shame. I wish he was more, because Matt is the creator of this world. He created a kind of silly character who doesn't care about anything, but unfortunately means that we don't get to see him play a really smart, intelligent character who is very well versed in the world, and that's something I really wanted to see from Matt's character in EXU. But the character is fun nonetheless. We know that he used to run in thief groups, and that he used to date a burlesque dancer, which is really funny to me. And then we get to see him go from being the character that people didn't trust with this really powerful magical item to the person who literally was like, I'm going to reject this and gain something else because I am mentally stronger than everyone else. And I thought that was an amazing story, and I really enjoyed what Dariax got in the original EXU, and then got fucking shafted in EXU Kaimo, and literally had to sit there and watch as Furai interrupted every other person, and as everyone else sort of did their own thing, and Dariax just had to go along with the ride. It was very unfortunate what Dariax has been handed, but I love this character. Matt did an excellent job in creating a character that wouldn't like tell Abria what to do, because if he had created a super smart, super intelligent character, super well versed in the world of EXU or in the world of Exandria, it would have made Abria look bad, and I think Matt handled that perfectly. And like I said, I wish we had a smart character from Matt, but this character is literally the best thing he could have done for her to sort of boost her up and help her. So excellent job all around from Matt with the character. Just wish we got a little bit more from this character, because it is very disappointing how shafted Matt, like you could literally look at Matt and half the time he was just looking around watching other people play as he had to like kind of wait for his turn, which really sucks and isn't the fault of this character, but it's unfortunately the only bit of exposure we have to this character right now. But like I said, in the original EXU, this character had a ton of awesome moments where people didn't trust him, and then he became the one that realistically should be the one that's trusted the most because of the gift he was given in the end episode. So I do believe he's an amazing character, and I can't wait to see more, but we need to see more is basically what I'm saying. We haven't seen too much from him, and I would love Matt to finally get some shine that isn't in the DM seat. At number 29, we have Opal, who I really enjoy. This character was the one I did not expect to take the crown in EXU, but she ended up doing it, and it was really fun because everyone assumed it would either be Dariax or Dorian, and then bam, she puts it on. It was awesome. But the character overall is fun. Again, she's a ditz, and that's always really funny for me. I love seeing ditzy characters, especially ones who get the amount of exposure they should, because they end up amounting to something really fun, and this turned into something really fun for me. So really enjoy this character. I think Amy did an amazing job for this being her first character. She did not steal this idea from somebody else. I can guarantee you that. If you don't know what that is, look it up. It's kind of hilarious to learn about that this whole drama happened around this character. But I love this character's story. I think that we got to see a bunch of good from this character, especially during the time where they spent in her hometown. And we got to learn and see a bunch of her struggle internally from her literal sister being inside her or being her patron. And I thought that was really fun. I enjoyed the character. It did an excellent job. Amy did an excellent job. Abria did an excellent job showcasing this character, and was honestly one of the shining lights in EXU Kaimo because of the whole black ichor thing running down her body. She got to gross people out, much like Laudna, and I love that shit. So, yeah, really enjoy this character. Really fun. At number 28 is Molly Mock, or Kingsley, and I didn't grow a personal connection to this character. I knew where they were going to end up, so I didn't connect to him. I didn't connect to Molly or any of his actions or any of the actions or the backstory, but I do find it fun because it plays into later on portions of the second campaign. So I do enjoy this character and what they set up, but as a character themselves, I was always looking forward to when they would get replaced because I knew that was going to be happening. So technically not this character's fault. I do enjoy Molly Mock, and especially Kingsley. I loved Kingsley in the Ukitoa 2-shot they did not too long ago, the Mighty Nine Reunited. I loved Kingsley. I thought he was great. His whole maybe I'll backstab forward thing was really funny to me. I really enjoyed that. But Molly Mock as a character Had a ton of fun moments to me as well while I did watch it, but I didn't grow that connection. So, one of my favorite moments being when Bo and Molly take drugs. I think that's hilarious and probably not too far out of the realm of what that character would do on a regular basis if they weren't an adventurer. But definitely think the character has room for me to grow on him the next time I watch campaign 2, which I'll probably be doing soon. So maybe he'll shoot up on this list next year, because I might do this again next year. Probably not, because this is an insane video. But as of right now, Molly Mock has to sit this far down, because I didn't get a true connection to them until they were Kingsley. And Kingsley I really enjoy. And I love the idea that Kingsley is now the new Plank King. So again, overall really fun. I like Kingsley's brief story, and I think that Molly Mock's death was one of the best things that could happen in the Mighty Nine, because it pushed them toward a less gray morality and more towards a good morality. At number 27 is Pasha, who is Marisha's character in EXU Calamity. I really enjoy this character. The character's whole backstory is that she's part of an extremely illustrious family, as her grandfather is the one who lifted Avalier into the sky, and her parents effectively either failed Avalier, couldn't live up to his expectations, or just outright turned on Avalier. And then her, in attempting to succeed him, also fails, but then also succeeds in passing on all of her knowledge. And I loved that. And, she was very pissed off at the idea that somebody wouldn't share the idea of godhood, and like most people in Avalier, they were pissed about not having that knowledge. So that character was deeply rooted in the idea of Avalier, and I fucking loved every second of it. And she also seemingly sides with Lorin in the idea that we need to expand out and go into other realms with the, lay rites and the apogee solstice that's happening. I thought that was brilliant, how some people sided with Lorin and truly wanted to see this expansion and sort of did dark things to their own group, because technically Pasha is the one that did the thing to Xerxes' husband. So that's interesting. So yeah, I don't know. I enjoy this character. I love the story, the short story that we have with her connections to Avalier and the people within it, and potentially with the Raven Queen. Love it all. Fantastic character. And this character was not supposed to be there. That's the best part about Pasha. It was supposed to be Laura playing in this game, but she had to pull out, and it became Marisha's character, and that is fantastic. How much she was able to do in what little time she had. Yes, she probably based it off Laura's character, but with the amount of information and time she probably had to create this character, fantastic job, fantastic character, fantastic little story within this amazing mini arc. At number 26 is Loquacious Sealy, and I friggin' love this character. The emotion that Sam brought to it was amazing. His relationship with Lorin and the other characters was fantastic. I goddamn loved this character and everything they did, and how they sort of let go of everything toward the end, sort of got over not being asked about all of this stuff that was going on with Lorin, and then was able to turn and be like, I'm no longer going to suppress the truth. Time for people to start moving, get the fuck out of here, because this place is going down. I love the whole idea of him, like, this isn't the first time I've suppressed the truth to keep my friends and family safe. Love this character. It is a character who is willing to do anything in a public space. Literally lie to thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people every day to keep people safe. I love this character. So much fun. And again, leaning toward that more evil side, in my opinion, for a good portion of this, until he eventually turns around and is just like, no. We have to tell people to get the hell out of here. I'm fucking done hiding the truth. It's amazing. I fucking love this character. And even with him doing that, he still hid the goddamn truth and said that Lorin is a savior of the people. Fucking perfect character. He was in love, and he was willing to do whatever it takes to protect that love. And oh fuck, it was so good. Such a fantastic character. At number 25 is Vax, and I'm going to start off with what I really like about this character, and that is all of his relationships I find to be really enjoyable. Sean, Keyleth, his sister, Percy, Grog, Scanlan. I think he is one of the best well-versed in talking to most of the player characters and having a good, strong relationship with all of them. Sometimes some characters have weaker relationships than others. He has strong relationships with all of them, so I firmly really enjoy that. He can bounce between any conversation and sort of fit in and not, kind of feel like he's budging in or on anything like that. But there is one thing that I don't like about Vax, and it's kind of that he's super, 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 super edgy. As somebody who played a rogue for my first ever character in D&D, I fell prey to this as well and became a super edgy assassin, cool guy character, and this character falls to that same sort of trope. But this one goes a step further beyond and chooses to die at the end. And the unfortunate part with that is Scanlan has a wish spell that could probably reverse his death and not have to, sit with him being a Raven Queen champion in death. I think that's one of my only big gripes about this character, is how edgy he was and that he chose death instead of to potentially fight it somehow. I think it would have been really interesting to have them do some sort of confrontation with the Raven Queen, but unfortunately that never happened. And to this day, it still never happened, and it's apparently hinted at that Vax has been around for even stuff that the Mighty Nine did, and I'm sure he's probably doing around for some of the stuff that Bell's Hells have been doing, guiding the dead souls to the afterlife or something like that. And that's really cool. I do like kind of where he ended up, but not a big fan of like the super edgelordness that he has. Everything else, really enjoy this character. So, yeah, number 25 for Vax. At number 24 is Terry, and I love everything surrounding this character. I enjoy every moment that they are on screen. He is on screen. I enjoy his relationships that he creates with Vox Machina. I enjoy the friggin' one-shot that he has so much with the Darrington Brigade. His arc is one of my favorite arcs in the first campaign, as it kind of deals with a lot of personal stuff for a lot of characters. They finish the Aramente, they kill the Rakshasa, not Hodis. Is it Hodis? I think it's Hodis. That's chasing down Vax, and he gets to build a great relationship with Vex, who effectively found a brother, who shares the same level of love for money, and it's really fun. I really enjoy all the characters, and his story that we get to eventually learn of him being not as rich as he claims to be, and that his family is sort of falling apart, and we get to see the resolution to this. I really enjoy that, and it was kind of our first, I believe it was one of our earliest experiences in Wildmount. They might have gone to Wildmount briefly before for something else, but it was our first time actually going to Wildmount that I can recall. I'm probably wrong. Somebody tell me I'm wrong. And yeah, I just love this character. I love everything surrounding this character. Not one single bad thing to say about this character. At number 23 is Pike. I really enjoy this character. Every time Pike is on screen or Ashley's on screen in Campaign 1, I have a great time. She has some of the greatest arrival moments, one of my favorite being from the Briarwood arc, and they did it perfectly in the Vox Machina animated series. And I enjoy her relationship with Grog. I love the whole, she's a lot smaller, but she's actually like the big sister of Grog, and she kind of keeps him in check and makes sure that he doesn't do anything stupid. I love her relationship with Scanlan. I love that if you read any of the Tal'Dorei Reborn campaign stuff, and if you watch any of these other stuff that goes with Campaign 3, which being Four-Sided Dive, you learn that Scanlan and Pike actually don't stay together. They get divorced at some point, or they split. And to me, that's really fascinating because it shows these characters can be realistic and not all of them end up happy together forever, aside from Vax and Keyleth. So, yeah, I really enjoy this character and everything that comes along with her. I just wish we got to see her more. She was a character who suffered from Ashley being on Blind Spot, like the most out of every character. Yasha does as well, but there's a lot of good for Yasha, as she didn't have to be on Blind Spot for the end of Campaign 2, whereas Pike got suckered into it the entire time. She's not even in the first episode, if I can recall correctly, so that kind of sucks. At number 22 is Xerxes. To me, the epitome, the embodiment of a paladin. Badass character, so much fun, so righteous. He tries to fix a god. He's like, oh, you're broken, let me fix you. I fucking loved that. That to me, first of all, RP between Lewis, is it Lewis? It's either Louis or Lewis, because I was way based off how I read it. And Brennan was fucking fantastic. It was so good. The whole portion where they're like frozen in time, and he's like, "There's nothing wrong with me. I'm a betrayer god," or the the portion where he's like, and they called us the betrayers. That was such a brilliant moment that was brought upon by Lewis's fucking RP with Brennan. It was so good. And the character himself is really cool. I love the concept of people believing in him, and that's where his divine power comes from. Surrounded by sorcerers, wizards, and other stuff like that, where sort of magic comes from them. It's really cool. So he was a cool character. Really enjoyed everything about him, and he had a nice moment with his husband at the end, and he got a nice moment with his son. I think his Griffin had a nice moment with his son. And yeah, I just enjoyed this whole character. Everything that was set up perfectly in EXU Calamity got a nice conclusion. And the fact that this paladin, this righteous paladin of the people, is the one who embodies the turn of evil is great. And I like the idea that he might still be one of Asmodeus' devils. I think that's great and really cool and badass. So yeah, really enjoy this character. And if there's a possibility of him showing up again, that would be really cool. And I'm pretty sure we got to see the creation of one of the first vestiges and was handed to him, which is really cool. So yeah, overall, really fun character. I think Lewis did an amazing job. If I'm saying his name wrong, I'm sorry. Yeah, anyway, great character. Enjoyed it. The RP was amazing. The character's great. Overall, great. At number 21 is Sarret. Fucking badass. Such a cool character. He's an assassin, inquisitive rogue. He's not an assassin. He's an inquisitive rogue surrounded by highly intelligent, powerful magic users. And that, to me, as a concept, is a character who's supposed to keep these incredibly strong magical people in check without magic is so good. He does have magic things. He has a ring that's I can detect lies with this. And that's cool as well. I love how this private investigator, or not a private investigator, this investigator cop character is portrayed. He's really badass. He's I'm the one out of everybody who's really here for Avalier. Everybody else was kind of doing things for their own reason. Nidus was doing stuff for money. Xerxes was doing stuff to see if he could fix a god and prove that what they're doing is right. Pasha wanted to prove that that she is a person worthy of Avalier. Lorin wanted to prove that she's a genius. And Loquacious wanted to help Lorin. So out of all of them, Sarret is the only one here who is truly selfless. And he stands above the rest to me because he is such a badass. And not to mention the end sequence where he survives. Spoilers, I guess. I think I said that at the beginning that there's spoilers. But he survives, and he's the only one to survive. And he flies his way out with his knowledge, his extreme knowledge of Avalier, and he's able to survive. And the image that I have of him gliding out of the city and stopping in front of the sun, and his wings are extended, to me is badass. And I love this character. Travis proves time and time again that he can make really badass characters out of a really simple concept, which is the guy who needs to keep mages in check. And I think that's badass. Love this character. So much fun. And if they ever do a Calamity sequel where they're now fighting the Calamity, Sarret better be there, because he's a badass and he should be teaching the next generation to fight these devils or demons or whatever is propping up. And to me, that would be badass as fuck. At number 20 is Dorian, a amazing character across 3 different sets of games, EXU, the Campaign 3, and now EXU Kaimal. He is, in my opinion, one of the shining lights of Kaimal, as Dorian and Robbie are amazing, and he's really fun. I love the character and everything surrounding him. The whole mystery of Cyrus at the beginning of Campaign 3 and everything to do with the Silken Squall intrigues me to no goddamn end. I love how he is kind of the centerpiece of Kaimal, because it's him that they're there to help, and I really enjoy that. I also love his character portrayal in EXU, where he's starts off as trying to be everyone's friend, and he's trying to be super nice, and then it seems like he's going to be the one toward the end who's going to accept the crown and sort of be the one that's I'm going to do this in the guise of, protecting my friends. He's going to do the wrong thing to protect the people he cares about, and I really enjoyed that character. And then it didn't happen because Opal did it first, which was a shock, and it was awesome. But I love this character, and I think he is the highest rated EXU character, other than Aurum and Fern, who are in Campaign 3 now, of course, out of exclusively. So he's the highest rated EXU character. Just going to say it like that. So yeah, really enjoy him. I think he's a lot of fun. I want Robbie to come back in Campaign 3, as my last video indicated. So yeah, with that being said, moving on to the next one. At number 19 is Vex. I think this character is super fun. I am personally a big fan of the Ranger class, as bad as it actually is, especially Beastmaster during this time period of D&D when they were playing campaign 1, that class was fucking atrocious. But Laura does an amazing job with it. Matt also gives her a ton of cool items that sort of help balance it out a little bit more and gives Trinket a bunch of cool things. And I guess Trinket also slots in here with Vex. I like all of her relationships with a lot of these characters. I think her and Percy's, like, romantic relationship kind of comes out of nowhere, but it slowly becomes one of my favorite ones. And it looks like the Vox Machina animated series is sort of pushing more into it to make it seem less weird. Because to me, it always felt like she gets killed, and then he blames himself, and that's where it starts. But maybe I missed something, I don't know. But I enjoy this character. I love her relationship with Keyleth, which is kind of like confrontational at first because she's like semi-stealing her brother. I love her relationship with her brother. Eventually, I really like her relationship with Percy. I like her relationship with Grog, but that just might be because Laura and Travis. And yeah, I like all of her relationships with the characters that she like talks with the most. She talks with certain characters less. Like Pike, unfortunately, gets a short end of the stick, but Pike gets a short end of the stick for a lot of things. But she also, to me, didn't interact with a whole lot of NPCs a lot. She was more so guest characters and player characters that she interacted with. So I love her relationship with all them. She could have probably done more in the NPC department, in my opinion, to build more relationships there, because she always felt like she fell to the back seat during like NPC conversations. So yeah, but she has tons of badass moments in the first campaign, and I loved her appearance in campaign 3. Really bolstered my opinion of her, especially kind of weird, but Matt played her perfectly the way Laura would play her. And yeah, I really enjoy it. I love how she flaunts her riches now, as she came from nothing and now has all this money. It's really cool. So yeah, this character's fun to me. At number 18 is Bo. I like Bo. I like all of her story. I love her relationship with other characters. Everything she does, in my opinion, is really cool. The only thing I have against this character, because I fucking hate this class, is that she's a monk. I will never get over my hatred for Monk. So sorry if you like Monk, but I do not like Monk. Anyway, beyond that, I love her relationship with Yasha. I thought that was getting set up from day one, but she then has a crush on Jester for a little while, which then dissipates and she goes back to Yasha. So I enjoyed her romantic sort of issues going on. At one point in time, the entire upper table was having a crush on Jester, and it was funny as hell. But she was the one that out of all of them I wanted to end up with Jester the least. So you'll see who I wanted to end up with Jester the most at the end. But I enjoy this character. I like everything, like the way she interacts with the world and how she's super jaded to start with, and she's like super grouchy, and by the end she's realizing that she's in this family and that she has a place to go, and it's really awesome and really cool and really sweet. I enjoy this character quite a lot because of that change, that we get to see some real positive change in this character. And one of my favorite moments of campaign 2 altogether was when she pieces the whole Tomb Takers, Cerberus Assembly connection, the Somnovum connection, and it's just fantastic. And if you've never looked that picture up, look up Marisha's note-taking on Google or something, and you will find the most amazing notes ever. It's perfect. And this character, to me, is the perfect depiction of note-taking. It's so good, because notes you take at the beginning of the campaign or at a certain point come up way at the end, and it's perfect and it's awesome. And that is why, like, I love this character. Like, really fun because of that whole connecting the dots. Sort of a monk mixed with an investigator. Really cool. Probably the only way I'd enjoy the class is that, even though they were reworking it during the campaign. Fuck, I hate monks so much. At number 17 is Aurum. God damn, this character has grown on me quite a bit. I thought he was going to be super far down on this list, but we've learned a ton about him since EXU days, and now we know that he is on a sort of revenge quest or a vengeance quest, which I really enjoy, because this is a character who you wouldn't think would be going out to get the people who killed his husband, and I really enjoy that story that we've got here. And his sort of wanting to be Derrig and his wanting to be someone important in the Ashari, to me, is really cool, and it's kind of an underlying thing that I don't see a whole lot of people talking about, because when he interacts with Keyleth at certain points, there's so much respect there, and he takes the position that Derrig would have taken, and he has Derrig's shield, and now he has his husband's sword. I think I got that right. And it's just really cool and really badass to me, this character who's trying to fill the shoes of people who were there before him. Really enjoy that. And another thing is, this is, I think, the first Liam character who hasn't taken a super like active role in decision making. He's been sort of a yes man, and it's been nice to have that sort of sort of difference. And he's not as heavily based in tragedy. The other two characters he has, super tragic characters, and Aurum, while yes, he has tragedy, doesn't wear it the same way Vax and Caleb do. So I really enjoy this massive difference for Liam. I think it's great. And he's showing off how you can be super creative with a martial class. Because he was showing off his amazing, descriptive skills with Caleb, and now he's doing that same thing for this fighter class. And I really enjoy that, and I'm really appreciative of that, because that to me is really badass. At number 16 is Imogen. She has been the driving force behind the biggest portion of Campaign 3 so far, and I've really enjoyed her story. I love her conflict with her mother, and it seems this conflict with Rudis is going nowhere anytime soon, but it's a good thing. I'm really enjoying it. I love her relationship with Laudna, and it's really one of the things that I'm really most intrigued about, her relationship with Laudna and where it's going to go, what it actually is, how deep does it go. I want to learn more about when they met each other. I want to learn so much more about this character and what everything means, what her relationship with her father is, because she seems very distant and sort of estranged to him. And now that we know that her mother is alive and we don't know if she's either good or bad, what's going on there? What's the relationship going to be like? Is it going to be like Luke meeting Darth Vader? Because that would be really badass and really cool, because they're going to have the same powers. They're going to be able to fucking fight each other with I'm just getting so excited because of all this. Yeah, I love this character. I love everything surrounding her. I think she's really fun, and I can't wait to see more. She's super exciting to me, and she'll probably move up on this list if I ever decide to do it again toward the end of this campaign, which I probably won't do this list again until the end, if I ever do. But yeah, this character to me is continuously moving up and up and up in my mind. At number 15 is FCG. They are really funny to me. I enjoy everything that they do. I think their sort of not understanding of what they are to me is really entertaining, and I've really been enjoying them try to figure out what they are, and now the way that they've sort of pushed off their own sort of feelings to me is very much a thing that I can relate to, pushing stuff to the back and worrying about other people's problems first. Definitely something I can relate to, in my opinion. So I really like this character. Very relatable to me, and they're absolutely fucking hilarious. Just the first episode alone set the tone for where this character would be with Dancer's favorite smells, and the mystery behind what killed his entire troop, or their entire troop beforehand, was really badass, and the answer was fucking awesome. And then when FCG went psycho and started attacking everybody and insulting them, doing a total 180 on their character, was so much fun to me, and I can't wait to learn way more about FCG. At number 14 is Ashton. I've really enjoyed the chaos surrounding this character, because he is quiet chaos, or they are quiet chaos, and it is very fun for me to watch this person who's very kind of fuck off, don't talk to me, and then the way they fight is so drastically different from that of, I'm going to do random wacky shit. I'm going to open a portal. I'm going to affect time. I'm going to make sure that you can't hit me because I'm fucking looking weird, and there's going to be sparks flying out of my head. And that's really compared to the fuck off, I'm quiet, reserved person who they're trying to be or pretending to be, versus the person who's outgoing. And I love the idea of them constantly being in pain because the events that they had to go through before the campaign is really intriguing to me. And their backstory being revealed slowly with this whole sort of, I don't know how to put it, sacrifice thing that went on. This sort of event that happened in their life to turn them into what they are is what it sounds like to me. So I'm very excited, and I love the whole Dunamancy thing that this character is surrounded by possibility. I think it's great. The best way to put this character is possibility, and I'm super excited for the possibility of learning way more about them. At number 13 is Grog, Strongjaw. I love this character. Big, dumb, stupid, funny as hell. I love the relationships that Grog has with everybody in the Vox Machina troop, and I really enjoy just everything about them surrounding them. I love the whole tribe thing, that he's been kicked out and then he found a home with a bunch of small people. That was hilarious. And I love his relationship with Pike the most, because that is his big sister in his eyes, even though she's really small. And I really enjoy this character. I loved the dynamic with him and Kevdak, of him sort of having to rise to the occasion, but he can't do it without his friends and family. And I really love that about this character. First of all, Grog's design too, to me, is always really cool. He is, to me, the epitome of what it means to be a Goliath, barbarian, raging lunatic when it comes to fighting. And I think the Vox Machina animated series has done an extreme justice to this character. I love it when he rages and you can see his muscles bulge and he gets really like excited, because when Grog rages, it doesn't ever feel like anger, it's excitement because he's about to fight, and I really love that about the character. Really fun to me. Love his relationships. Fuck, I wish he would show up in campaign 3, and I would love to see some new art surrounding him. I know we have some in the Tal'Dorei Reborn campaign guide, but I want to see some new art for the campaign for him. I think that'd be really cool. At number 12 is Keyleth. Kiki, I love her relationship with all the characters in Vox Machina, and I love the way she interacts with Aurum and everybody else in campaign 3, as well as there's a little bit of shock to her and how they're all handling themselves in this moment and all the information they have and were able to give her, and the respect they gave toward her was really cool and deserving of somebody who is the voice of the Tempest. I think that's really cool to me. I really enjoyed everything we've seen from this character. I love Marissa's RP as her, even though she's kind of ditzy and stupid, but I love that kind of shit. I think that's hilarious. And, you know, her innocent sense in campaign 1 is one of the things that made me the most interested. Seeing if that would ever get broken and shattered was something that I was kind of waiting for. And when it did eventually happen with the whole Vax thing, it was truly heartbreaking to watch, because that is true. That is something that happens. Your world gets smashed, something gets turned upside down, and the way Keyleth handled it at first was not great, but eventually she turned it upside down, and now she is the basically immortal ruler and defender of Exandria. I feel like if anyone's going to be called upon to defend something in Exandria, it's her, and I feel like she would answer that call almost immediately, much like she did with the whole Laudna thing. So, yeah, I really like this character from beginning to end. Her character growth is amazing, from this naive, not sure of herself character to the voice of the Tempest, who is still a little bit insecure, and really badass character. At number 11 is Yasha, and I'm going to put it out there right away. The only bad thing about this character that I don't like is Blind Spot. Simple as that. Everything else I enjoy. And they actually gave her an excellent reason to not be there. She needed to be alone. It's that simple. It's perfect. It's amazing. The reason she keeps leaving is she needs to be alone right now, and I love it. So, this character has some excellent relationships. Obviously, there's Bo, and I talked about that earlier with the Bo section. But now I'm going to talk about her relationship with both Caleb and Caduceus. Her relationship with Caleb is sort of like a wingman character, and it was really funny for a while how that one moment where she shaved him with her sword, which is really funny to me. It was always something that I always look back on fondly. And I really enjoy her relationship with Caduceus as somebody who's sort of pushing her to blossom into the flower she can become. He is the person who sort of pushed her over the edge of embracing who she's meant to be and the people who she's meant to be with, and she's not just supposed to be some quiet, reserved person. One of my favorite moments for this character was when she did the one-on-one fight in the fighting pits, because she felt like she needed a beating, and she went and put herself in a situation where it was basically impossible for her to win unless she really wanted to, like, kill somebody and, like, throw the rules out, as she wasn't going to do the amount of damage that monk was doing to her. So to me, that moment was really badass, because she was like, I'm going to fucking pay for the things that I did, even though I wasn't in control. Speaking of which, that is one of my favorite arcs in Campaign 2, when she sort of gets taken over by Oban and is basically an immortal killer of people as they're moving toward releasing the Chain of Irons, or the Angel of Irons. And really badass. Really, really, really badass character. Really enjoy everything. And the way she sort of bounces back from this and turns into the flower that Caduceus believes her to be is amazing, and I love it. She is, in my opinion, one of my favorite parts of my favorite campaign, Campaign 2, and there's a lot of favorite parts. So yeah. And at number 10 is Scanlan, the gnome himself. And I really fucking enjoy this character. I think he's a lot of fun. He, in my opinion, is like the heart and soul of Campaign 1. And I just enjoy everything that sort of surrounded his build-up into snapping at the party. And I really enjoy that character a lot. And when he came back and sort of felt really bad, but he also felt really justified in his actions, and he was going to just leave again, but then they asked him for help. And I liked that. I liked everything surrounding his sort of exit and his return, and sort of the jealousy that he created when he had Lionel with him, which was fucking hilarious, and it made Grog really upset, and everyone else was kind of like, is he coming back? Is he staying forever, or is he leaving again? And I really enjoyed everything that this character created. He gave us the Terry and Darrington section of the campaign, which is awesome to me, and I will always love Scanlan for everything. But my favorite all-time Campaign 1 moment comes from Scanlan, where Sam proves that he is the DM now and counterspells Vecna. But he did so in such a magnificent way where he's like, should I bardic inspiration this character, or should I fly up and move forward and sort of put myself in position to do something else? And it was so good. So good. And the whole, that's why I got closer, motherfucker, pen snap. Perfect. I love it. It's a moment I look up every single time I'm bored on the weekend, and I'm like, you know what? Time to watch some highlights. I love this character. Think it's hilarious. Think he's awesome. Sam does an amazing job, and I'm so excited for the second season of Vox Machina, so we get to hear some more singing from Sam. At number 9 is Fern. Fern is the best Ashley character now. It used to be Yasha, but now it's Fern. She climbed the mountain like I said she would in the Yasha video. And yeah, I fucking love this character. The klepto nature of her, the we never know if she's telling the truth nature is so funny. And it's pretty damn clear where that comes from when we met her parents. And I have no idea. I have no doubt in my mind that a hag also influenced this sort of information. I'm excited to see this hag. I'm so happy that we're going to the Fey realm and all this shit. It's so exciting to me. I love everything surrounding this character, and the reveal that she is like the Rudis born, like she's a weaker Rudis born, like she has very little attachment to like the power side of it, but like the whole significance of her being like in this ball of fire, and now they're going to the Fey realm, where this vision took place. Holy shit. I didn't even think about that till just now. That is so exciting. Anyway, this character's really fun. I love the way she acts with everybody. She doesn't really have like a true relationship with everybody. It is very much a joking relationship with everybody around her until it actually gets serious, because she does have a real relationship with Aurum, to the point where I believe that coin flip fucking said Laudna and she chose to go to Aurum instead. And yeah, and that coin flip to me is total BS. That she totally picked Aurum, but I love that moment, and I love the whole sorry, but we're going to go with Aurum thing. And then her apologizing to Laudna once Laudna's back is really fun to me. And I just enjoyed every bit of this character so far in Campaign 3. And I'm so excited to see more of her. And we get to see more revealed as we're going to see Maury soon. So I'm very excited for that as well. And at number 8, we have Caleb, a character who has grown on me so much as time went on as I was watching Campaign 2. He was honestly one of my least favorite characters, a character who I was not very invested in, to a character who I fucking fell in love with once we learned so much more about him. Like, I watched Campaign 2 kind of late, came in afterwards, and at the start I was like, oh, I don't have any attachment to him, much like Molly, but then we learned the truth, and I loved this character from that point on. The only thing I didn't want was him to end up with Jester, and he didn't, thank God. He was too broken for Jester, in my opinion, everybody, but it was fun. The way his relationship worked with Jester is he had like a crush on her because she didn't look at him as somebody who was like, oh, go ahead and stay weak. She's like, no, fucking stand up. Just because you're a dirt wizard doesn't mean you can't stand up and like not look down on yourself. And that was really cool. And her relationship with other characters to me has always been fun. I like his relationship with Caddy, and I love his relationship. That was a little bit of a singing voice there. Jesus Christ, I didn't mean to do that. I love his relationship with Beth. Beth and him, to me, like, I love it. They're lovers if they didn't have somebody else in the way. That to me is how I would put it, because they are. They're a family. The two of them love each other. That is they're their work husband and wife, and it's great and it's nice. And eventually Caleb ends up with Essek, which to me is also kind of a good thing, because Essek doesn't seem to be a power hungry character like Astrid, so that was good for him as well. And so yeah, I enjoy this character quite a bit now. I didn't always feel this way about him, but I like the way he's sort of moving toward the Academy role that we saw on the United or the Mighty Nine Reunited episode. As at first it didn't look like he'd ever take that kind of position, and he was sort of just gonna do his own thing and help Bo take down the Cerberus Assembly. But now we get to see that he is going to take this position and try to fix things from the inside, which is really cool to me. At number 7, we have Veth. I fucking love Veth, and I fucking love Not. The goofiness surrounding this character is amazing. The seriousness surrounding her backstory and her hatred of water, and how everyone just kind of abused that at the beginning. Like, oh, she's scared of water? Let's dunk her under a bath. Let's put her in the ocean. They got on a goddamn boat, for fuck's sake, and just fucked with her for hours and hours. Button beard and all, and I love it. I love this character. Her relationship with everybody, especially her rivalry with Ford to me, and how they always jab at each other, is perfect and amazing, and I love it. You always need that kind of relationship in a D&D game. And I love her relationship with Caleb, as I just mentioned before. If they didn't have people who they loved outside of things, they would be together, in my opinion. So that's really sweet to me. And I love how this character is the mom. If Caduceus is the dad of the group, Veth/Not is the mom of the group, always looking out for everybody else, to the point where it's almost harmful to herself sometimes, which is very FCG, or I guess FCG kind of stole that from Veth. But overall, I love this character. I love everything about this character, and I'm excited for. They need to make like a Wild Out sweater, because I want that sweater. Wild Out. At number 6 is Chutney, and I love this little fucking werewolf freak. He's amazing. He's great. He's hilarious. Everything good wrapped up in a character. He has it. He's badass. He's funny. He's got an interesting backstory that we're slowly being drip fed as time goes on. I love his sort of opinion on his lycanthropy curse, because it's not a curse. It's a fucking gift to him. God damn it. You got to recognize the alpha. I love everything surrounding this character. I think he's so fucking funny to me. And at first it was kind of annoying, because I was like, I'm worried that's all he's going to be. He's going to be an old funny prankster kind of character, but he's not that. And there's tons of emotion surrounding him. Everything he's talked about with Aurum, and how Aurum sort of confided in him first, and now Aurum is sort of moving toward, like, you know, he is sort of mentoring Aurum into woodworking, and I love that. And I love his relationship with Aurum. I think it's great. He also has some sort of like weird uncle relationship with Imogen, which I've really enjoyed, and he seems to be like the grandfather/uncle of the group, trying to take care of everybody and also taking care of himself. And he always gets upset with himself that he attacks everybody, to the point where he's now handcuffing himself in his sleep, which is both a kink joke and just something genuine that I feel like the character would actually do to protect everybody around him, even though those chains won't do anything when he turns into a werewolf and kills everybody. At number 5 is the leader of the Chaos crew, Jester. I love this character. Fun, full of chaos, full of laughs, full of emotion, as we went throughout the campaign of Campaign 2. And her whole growing into somebody of her own. She tried to mimic her mother, and like she did that to Ford. She was literally being her mother, how her mother would act. And she would hit on Ford with that, and it wasn't really working. And she noticed that, and she eventually grew into her own person. And she, you know, decided to sort of grow out of the shell of her mother and become Jester Lavore instead of being Marion Lavore Jr., which to me was super nice and super cool to watch. And it was really exciting to see the character go from literally a shadow of somebody else into something of her own, and even stepping sort of away mildly from the Traveler. There was a huge dependence on Artagan / the Traveler, and when she eventually sort of grew out of that, when she realized the whole thing was like a lie, she didn't like sort of sulk about it. She sort of accepted it and took it on the chin and was like, fuck it, let's make something of this. And I really enjoy the upbeat character that she is, and how chaotic she is. Fluffernutter is going to live on in, you know, memory to me forever, and I really enjoy that. So I love this character, and I love her relationship with other characters. Not obviously the best investigative group of all time. Her, you know, sort of building up relationship of Caleb, her friendly sister relationship with Bo, same with Yasha. I don't really think there was a lot of moments between her and Caduceus. She had a fun relationship with Mollymock. I'll give that something to go. But then her relationship with Ford, to me, while being sweet in real life because they're married in real life, was also really fun, because at first Ford didn't know what he wanted, and Jester pretended like she knew what she wanted, but she didn't either. And eventually their relationship did blossom into something that I'd been cheering for since day 1 in Campaign 2, so yeah, big fan of the fact that that worked out in the end. At number 4, we have Percy. No Mercy Percy, super badass, filled with a little bit of edge. He's got a little bit of salt sprinkled edge on him. It's not as bad as Vex, which is why I enjoy this star. Not as bad as Vax, which is why I enjoy the character a lot more. And he kind of grows out of it, but kind of keeps it in his back pocket. And I really enjoy that kind of stuff, where he can turn it off and on. And I really, really like the character, and the setup behind the Briarwood arc is fantastic. Everything that leads up toward it, there's a moment where he literally has like a Kill Bill moment, where there's literally a clip of somebody putting the Kill Bill siren over top of him, hearing the name and sort of having flashbacks, which is amazing. The RP in this character is great. The only thing that kind of bugged me about the character was his relationship with Vex, but I eventually grew on that as well. I felt that the relationship came out of nowhere, but turned into something that I really got behind. And I love the fact that they have 1 million children, and one of them is a tiefling because of the deal he made while in the city of Dis, which to me was really interesting to learn about. So, yeah, really like this character. Love No Mercy Percy, filled with badass moments. He does have some funny moments as well. And, the curse of lock picking or opening doors, he is like my favorite character who to sort of interact with that. Because to me, he's like, I've got a gun. Why don't I just shoot the fucking handle off? And I really enjoy that sort of attitude toward the whole fucking they can't open doors thing. Yeah, I love that that curse exists in every single campaign. It's been amazing. At number 3, we have Caduceus, the father figure that everyone needs. I love this character. He came in and fixed the Mighty Nine. The Mighty Nine were a cast of broken people who didn't know what to do with themselves after the loss of one of their closest allies. And a bunch of them were just broken in general, and he was able to be the guiding light for them all. And he was amazing. He was a great, great fucking character. And his goal was simple. I want to fix my home, which I can get behind. That is badass. It is relatable. The character is so relaxed and calm, and he's so inquisitive. Like, the fact that he could just read you and be like, you're fucking lying to me, or you're a piece of shit, or you're a great person, you just don't know what to do with it. I loved this character and his interactions with a bunch of NPCs, other players. It was perfect. Is the fact that he could be like, I'm just going to look at you and tell that there's something wrong. And I love it. I think he's amazing. And he was the person who sort of guided everyone in the direction they needed to go. He was the one that pushed Yasha into being a more open person in the group, and he pushed her toward Bo. He pushed Caleb toward being a more open person as well. He pushed Ford into literally being the person he became at the end, more confident, somebody who could literally, run a ship, even though he kind of loses that confidence in between the reunion episode and not. But he also gains the confidence to sort of reveal his feelings to Jester because of Caduceus. And Caduceus pushed him to be the leader of the Mighty Nine, which to me is always going to be awesome. And I really enjoyed it. And I just enjoy his relationship with everybody. I love his relationship with his family. His family is fucking hilarious to me. And yeah, like I said, his goal is really simple. Fix the forest surrounding his house. And yeah, really badass to me. Fun character. Filled with tons of badass moments. One of my favorite moments being him shitting on Trent Ickathon at a dinner table. That also happens to be Trent Ickathon's dinner table. Badass. And at number 2, the runner-up is Laudna. Fuck, I love this character. The RP that Marisha puts into this character, the backstory that connects to campaign 1 to me is really interesting. The relationship that she has with Delilah, that of fucking pure hatred, is amazing. Her relationship with Imogen, I am loving everything surrounding this character and all the wackiness that comes with it. Fucking Pate is amazing. We haven't seen Sashimi in a while, but she needs to make a return. I have been enjoying everything surrounding this character. The way that NPCs interact with her, the way that the party have just kind of gotten over the way she looks, and now they're just walking next to a corpse and everyone else is like, what the fuck is going on here? And it's so perfect. And Marisha, just take an episode to watch Marisha and everything she does. The way she listens to people, the way she listens to Matt, and her head snaps back and forth, and the way she sort of moves her hands as she's sort of describing what spell she's casting. This character is filled with personality to the brim in the way that Marisha moves, talks. The backstory to me is really interesting, and the fact that we're sort of still learning about it. Even though we went into her literal mind, there's still pockets that we can learn from about her, and it's really interesting. And the whole mind being in her mind or being in her subconscious, and learning or seeing sort of the creation of Pate, how she reacted to people for years and years as she ran away from them. Her fucking relationship with people who she had a crush on. She had a crush on Whitestone Andy, but he fucking threw dirt at her like an asshole. So yeah, I love this character. I am so intrigued to see more from this character, and I can't wait for Delilah's inevitable return. So yeah, very, very much in love with this character. I think it's one of the best in all of Critical Role, and easily Marisha's best character. And at number 1 is Ford. Goddamn, Ford is my favorite character in all Critical Role. Honestly, one of my favorite classes. Hexblade is awesome. Paladin's also fun. I love the whole pirate motif, or at least the sea exploration motif that he has going for him. Love that. His backstory is great, and he was one of the most intriguing parts of Campaign 2 to me, what would happen with Uk'otoa. And then he has one of the most badass moments where he sort of shoves Uk'otoa off and sort of says, fuck you, I don't need you, and goes to the Wild Mother. And then eventually the release of him during the reunited episodes was also fun, and the fact that he got the finishing blow was very poetic. Kind of everybody got a finishing blow, which is very poetic. And just enjoy this character. The fact that he went through ups and downs of not sure what he wanted to do, not sure if he wanted to lead, not sure if he was going to fall in love, and then eventually coming together to do all of these things, becoming a ship captain, becoming a leader of the Mighty Nine, falling in love with Jester and allowing himself to be open about it. And just everything surrounding this character to me is super fun. His relationships with other people, the fact that he literally looks at Caduceus and thinks that's a father figure, and he's been open about it. In like the wrap up, Travis said Caduceus is a father figure to Ford, and Ford was looking for a father figure for the entirety of the campaign. And Ford was ready to make a ton of sacrifices for the people surrounding him. One of my favorite being when he sort of transport onto Artagan and Jester as this sort of moon deity is pulling them away, and he's like, fuck it, I guess I'm going with them. So see you guys, I'm staying with Jester. And that to me was like the first sign of him like admitting to Jester how much he cared about her, and like was really fun for me and was really cool. And I love that he sort of guided everybody and kept everybody together. He and Caduceus to me are a big part of the glue. Caduceus, Jester, and Ford are the glue of the Mighty Nine, and to me, you know, were the heart and soul of it, and I really enjoy those three characters, hence why they're so high on this list. And yeah, Ford being number one is no secret. I feel like I've said this a handful of times that he's my favorite character, and I just love it. I think Travis played him expertly. He sort of stepped out of his comfort zone a little bit and added spells because he didn't cast a single spell in Campaign 1, and he made an excellent character. He stepped out of his comfort zone in multiple ways. Having a relationship in game, which is something he didn't do. He thought that romancing in games was really stupid, and he stepped out of that. And you know, Chutney is because of that, Chutney is no like fucking stranger to hitting on other characters, which is really fun. And it's all stemming from Ford being a sort of way to push out of his comfort zone, which is really cool. And I love this character, and everything that sort of surrounds him is just really fun to me. His relationship with Orly, every other character in the game, he's amazing. I love Ford. He is the driving force to Campaign 2 for me. So there you have it, my list of characters, my favorite characters in Critical Role. Ranking them, all of them. These are the canon characters to Exandria. So, yeah, tell me your list. All 42 of them. Good luck. It took me fucking forever to fucking figure out how I was going to do this. And I feel like swearing because I feel like we're an hour into this fucking video. So we're out of the first minute so I can fucking swear. Happy New Year, everybody. Hope you had a good time. And if you aren't subscribed yet, we are one away from 400. I think it'd be really cool to hit that number before New Year's. So yeah, Happy New Year's. Hope you all have a wonderful New Year with whoever you're spending it with. So yeah, until then, see ya.